So you look like this, but you want to look like this, and I got you. And the hard part about being skinny fat is that you don't know if you should cut or bulk because you're fat and skinny at the same time. I wish I had a picture to show what I looked like, but I don't because I looked like shit, so I never took any pictures. But I basically grew titties and I had like a stomach, but my arms were reasonably lean, and it just looked really weird. Okay, so what's the strategy to get rid of a skinny fat physique? Because you're fat and skinny at the same time, so you don't know if you should bulk, body recomp, or cut. So really all of these can work, but I think the best thing to do is to just focus on doing a lean bulk. And the reason why is because you have almost no muscle and you kind of look fatter than you actually are. So if you're skinny fat, the main reason why you look fat is obviously you're carrying extra fat, but that 18 to 25% body fat on a skinny, non-muscular body shows a lot more than it does on someone who is a lot more jacked and muscular. So the first thing we need to prioritize is just building muscle. So how many calories should we increase to our maintenance calories for a lean bulk? So a good amount to do is around 200 to 400 calories extra every single day. So the first thing you want to do, bro, is to look up a maintenance calorie calculator. And then all you want to do is just fill it out, and then it'll give you a pretty accurate estimate of like what your maintenance calories are. So there's really two ways you can go about this. The first one is just to like get that amount of calories. Let's just say it says 2,000 on the calculator. All you need to do is just add an extra 200 to 400 calories to your diet every single day in order to do a lean bulk. But if you want to be a little bit more exact with it, then here's what you do. So once again, you fill that calculator out and it'll show you a number. So let's just keep it simple and say it's 2,000. So what you do is you eat 2,000 calories of like the same sort of food every single day for around 2 to 3 weeks. And what you do is you just track your weight at the end of the day or the beginning of the day for every single day for those 2 to 3 weeks. And if by the end of those 2 to 3 weeks, if you lose around 2 to 4 pounds, then your maintenance calories are probably actually like 100 or 300 calories above what you're currently eating. And the same thing goes if you're gaining weight. So if you ate those 2,000 calories every day, same sort of exercise for like around 2 to 3 weeks, and you gained like 2 to 4 pounds, then your maintenance calories are probably actually like a little bit below that. So you can just test it out if you want to be exact by doing that. But really, it doesn't really matter too much. So what do we eat and how do we portion it? So first of all, don't think that doing a bulk, you can just eat whatever you want and you can eat a bunch of trash food. Now, if you want your hormone health to be worse and your workout quality to suck and to feel bad all the time, then yeah, sure, go ahead and eat junk food. But if you want to feel great and energetic and just have awesome workouts, then let's just optimize our diet. So first of all, just the basics of dieting and just staying healthy and building muscle and just keeping your testosterone levels healthy is just eat single ingredient foods. So try to avoid eating as much processed food as you can because there's a bunch of different ingredients that are just really bad for you and your testosterone, your hormone levels, and just how you feel overall. So just try to eat single ingredient foods like beef, rice, eggs, apples, fruits. Try to avoid all the packaged stuff with a super long list of weird like labels and corn syrups and that kind of stuff because it's just bad for you and you should just try to avoid it. So that's the first thing you should do. Now, protein. So how much protein should we eat? So really just keep it simple. So try to eat around 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, try to eat 150 grams of protein, and that pretty much goes with any weight. And the main thing you want to know about protein is that some proteins are better than others. So that just means your body can actually use certain types of proteins better than other kinds. So this list just shows the levels of different proteins and how high quality they are. So that just means how well your body can actually process these certain types of proteins. So pretty much just try to avoid the ones at the bottom for muscle growth and try to maximize your intake of the ones at the top to just maximize your muscle growth. It doesn't mean the ones at the bottom are bad for you. It just means that the proteins aren't as high quality. So here's a good percentage and rule of thumb to basically portion your food out. So around 40 to 50% of your calories should come from proteins, and then around 40% should come from complex carbs, and then around 20% should come from healthy fats. So here's a list of complex carbs that I eat that are actually good for you, and then here's a list of some healthy fats that most of them I eat as well, and they're also good for you too. So when it comes to working out, you don't want to overcomplicate it. You want to make sure you just target almost all of your muscles throughout the whole week, stay consistent, and make sure they're fatigued. If you can do that for months, you'll see growth. Now, I gained most of my muscle through calisthenics, so I'll show you my routine and what I did. And it's basically just a basic push-pull leg split, which means one day I do push muscles, the other day I do pull muscles, and the next day I do legs. And I do that for 6 days of the week and then take a break on Sunday. So I like to split my muscle groups up with push-pull legs. So on Monday, I do all the push muscles for around an hour. And then on Tuesday, I do all the pull muscles for around an hour. And then on Wednesday, I do mainly legs for around an hour. And then for cardio, basically just do this. So the amount of time you spend doing calisthenics or weight training, just make your cardio around a third to a fifth of the amount of time you spend doing your calisthenics. So if you train like calisthenics for 15 hours a week, which is like a crazy amount, but if you train for 15 hours a week, then you'd probably be doing around like 3 to 4 hours of cardio a week. So here's the push day calisthenics routine that I did, and you don't need to follow this exactly, but it's a good template that you can just follow. And if you can't do push-ups very well, or you can't really do pull-ups, I'm actually gonna be making a video teaching you how to improve those and how to improve your calisthenics in general. So when you work out, you wanna make sure that you push yourself to your limits, like farther than what you think you can actually go. The reason why is because that's what's going to actually make you grow and gain muscle and make progress. So just do that and stay consistent and follow a routine that you can do every single week and work out almost every single day. Okay, so how do we improve our testosterone levels? So let's go over the basics first, and then I'll go over to some more interesting ways to improve your testosterone. So we already know the classics, like you got to be having 8+ hours of sleep. So if you want 8 hours of sleep, spend like 8.5 to 9 hours in bed. If you want 9 hours of sleep, spend like 9.5 hours in bed. So first of all, improve your sleep. That's super simple. Second is obviously exercise, but if you're doing this routine, then you're obviously going to be doing that. The next one is eat a clean diet. So avoid a bunch of sugars, sugary drinks, processed foods, and replace it with just pure single ingredient whole foods, and try to eat a high protein diet. So here are a few ways to just get more testosterone. So the first one is just to get more sunlight. So simple, but it actually really works very well. So even if it's kind of cloudy outside like that, I don't know if you can see it, but even if it's kind of cloudy outside, still go outside for like 15 minutes a day. Take your shirt off, just be in some like swimming shorts or whatever, and just absorb some rays. Even if it's cloudy, you're still gonna get some vitamin D, and then also take vitamin D at the same time. So the next method is more of a lifestyle change, and that is pretty much just having more male competition. So when you're competing against other men, you're constantly competing, there's actually studies that show that it improves your testosterone. So if you can just like get your boys and like you see who gets like the best bench PR in like a week, or you just do hikes and you see who like goes to the hill first, or you like wrestle each other, you do some boxing, anything like that is awesome. And just being around other guys who are in a competitive setting will actually improve your testosterone levels. Next one is reducing cortisol. So cortisol is the stress chemical, and cortisol is kind of like the opposite of testosterone. So the more cortisol you have, it actually negatively affects your testosterone levels. So a lot of us have a lot of cortisol because we're stressed and anxious all the time. So how do we reduce this? So really just 2 ways to reduce your cortisol or your stress is simply to just, first of all, get more sleep, but also what you can do is meditate and improve your breathing. So the first one is just meditating, and that's your ability to stay mindful in the moment. So if you can do this like 10 minutes a day, you're going to be way more focused and have better mental health. And you'll also be a lot less stressed because you're able just to process things more and not be stuck in your head all the time. So this study just shows that exercise, meditation, and deep breathing will reduce your cortisol by quite a bit. Okay, now I built some muscle. What do I do? So if you build around like 10 to 15 pounds of mass, most of that's probably going to be lean muscle. So from there, you can make a cut. But I recommend that you just try to gain some muscle first before you make a cut when you're skinny fat. So try to gain around anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. And then after that, you can cut. And I'll leave a link to my fat loss video in the description. Okay, bro. So in the description, I'll leave a link for the whole workout program, all the exercises, the days of the week you need to do it. And then I'll also leave a link for all the foods that I recommend you eat and the proportioning for it. And then I'll also leave a link where it shows basically all you need to do to improve your testosterone levels. And that's all for free. You don't need to pay for it.